To start anyway. So it is Money Moves Monday, every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I'm getting it popping with this information that y'all need to elevate your finances. And tonight on this Monday, I am so excited. I'm so excited that I have this man here with us. He is a licensed financial advisor. He's been in the game for over 10 years. He is the money man, one of the dopest in the game, somebody that I'm proud to say is my coach and mentor, because I don't care if you're a coach, everybody needs a coach and everybody needs a mentor. I'm sure this gentleman has one too. As a matter of fact, I know he has a coach and mentor too. So I want to introduce to everyone Mr. David D. Berry II. Welcome to Money Moves Monday.
Hey, I love the title, Money Moving. Money moves all the time. That's why it's called a currency. And I appreciate you for having me on, and I'm excited for the conversation.
Yes, thank you for being here. This is one of the things that I do for people who have registered. I actually sent them out your bio so they have your
Okay.
information. If you have not registered and you're just getting hip to Money Moves Monday, make sure that you register, because what's going to happen is you're going to automatically get everyone's bio. So everyone that's registered has David's bio. I broke it down about who he is, what he's done. That way we can get right into the meat and the potatoes of this here thing, okay? So I want to get in and I want to ask you, David, you know, the big thing is investing, right? Because that's the sexy stuff. Everybody wants to invest. But what is one of the biggest misconceptions that people have about investing?
Yeah, that's a great question, Chan. I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that you need a lot of money to get started. And a lot of times, people don't. They say, "Hey, I'll wait until I save up before I start investing, or I wait till I have a lot of money." And I think, that's twofold. I think that's just their own. They haven't been educated, but also the industry also is out there, and sometimes the industry won't let people invest if they don't have a certain amount of money too, right? So it's twofolds on that. But the power of compounding interest is amazing. So we got to get people to start. I don't care how small it is. So $25, $50 will get the compounding interest working for you, because one of the biggest things about investing is the time. So once you really start understanding investment principles, time is your most powerful tool. So we can get people started early and started, even if it's a small amount, they'll get the time and the compounding interest work for them.
Okay, so let's talk more about time. That piqued my interest a little bit. So you said people don't understand about the timing.
Right, right. So it's just about compounding. It's a compounding interest over time, right? So you think about, I know the rule of 72, but a lot of people haven't been educated on the rule of 72, and so that is a equation that tells you how long will it take for your money to double, right? So if I'm thinking about doubling my money over time, how many doubling periods do I have in a lifetime? Right? So if you take the rule of 72, and let's just say 72 divided by 6 is 12. So if you have $1,000, it doubles every 12 years in that instance. So obviously somebody who can start as early as a child has 7, 8 doubling periods in their life, whereas in somebody who's starting in their 40s or 50s may not even have only have a few, right? So you got to get the compounding interest working for you, the rule of 72 working for you. So it doesn't matter if you can start off with a small dollar amount and have more over time than somebody who started with a bigger dollar amount, but they started 20, 30 years after you, right? So I don't care how small it is, getting the time working for you, getting the compounding interest working for you. That's how you win the investment game.
That's how you win the investment game. Actually get in the game.
Right. Exactly.
You got to get in the game to win the investment game. So let me ask you this. So let's say someone decides that they want to start investing today, right? So they start investing today. How does that improve their lives? Like, what will change in their lives once they start doing that.
Right. So nothing right away. And that's the problem with investing is because you could go eat a good meal at a restaurant today and you can go get a good drink today. You could buy some clothes, some jewelry for yourself today. Investing, you invest today, you think you have less money because you just put it into an investment, right? So it's more about your future self. Your future self will thank you. And so right now I'm 36, but I remember putting my first dollar in an investment when I was 24. So my 36-year-old self definitely thanks my 24-year-old self, right? But if I'm just thinking of my 24-year-old self, I didn't gain anything that day. My life didn't change that day, that week, right? So it's us having a futuristic mindset. It's us having a vision. Can you look out and see 10, 20, 30 years from now, right? So you got to live for today, but you also got to plan for tomorrow as well too, right? So I like to spend money. I like to have a good time, but I know if I can go spend $150 at the restaurant, I got to turn around and be able to put that in my investment account. And if I can't spend that 100, I can't invest that 150 because I spent that 150. Maybe I should have spent 75 at the restaurant and put the 75 in my investment account, right? Because there's no way I'm gonna enjoy. Yeah, you're enjoying it today, but it's gone tomorrow, right? So we just got to get time working in our favor and thinking about the future and so much, not just today.
That's deep. And that's the problem I feel a lot of us or a lot of people are having is everything needs to be instantaneous. You need that instant gratification, right? We have Instagram, we have microwaves, we have all of these things that we're getting instantaneously. And, you're saying you have to have a futuristic mindset.
Right.
So how do you do that?
Yeah.
If I don't already have a futuristic mindset, am I just doomed to not be able to invest? What do I do to get there?
Yeah, so I think it's important to, some things you have to take out of your control, right? So even for me, I don't eat like snacks. And the reason why I don't eat snacks is because I don't keep them in my house, right? I can't eat something that's not there, right? So even in investing, yeah, you might not have a futuristic mindset. Well, then take it out of your hands, automate yourself to do it, right? So it's literally on the 7th, 14th, 21st, and 28th. That's the days I put money into my investment account. Because I look at the last 6 days, what did I just spend on things that ain't going to return me anything? Okay, on the 7th, the 14th, the 21st, 28th, money automatically comes out of my account into my investment account. So it doesn't even matter that I'm not thinking long term. It's like that money is out of my account now. And that's for my future self. And if my future self is not here to experience and that, well, that's for my next generation. Okay. But either way, it's like, my fraternity brother told me it's always better to have it and not need it than it is to need it and not have it.
Facts.
So that's the mindset we got to get our, people to think is like, you will be old one day, Lord's willing. And yeah, you gonna remember this conversation we had, on October 2nd, 2023, about your future self.
Facts. I love that. The 7th, 14th, 21st, 28th.
Yep.
Designated days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it sounds to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds to me like possibly budgeting and investing kind of go hand in hand.
Right.
Do you need a budget to invest? Like how does that work? Do you not need it? Do you need it?
Definitely. The average person is going to need a budget, right? Unless you just got massive cash flow coming into your bank account every month that you can't spend and you just save by default. Yeah, the average person is going to need to start with the budget. You got to tell your money where to go. See, most people don't tell their money where to go. See, because the government gets theirs off the top. Your mortgage company gets theirs off the top. Your credit, everybody wants theirs from you off the top. Like they got that on every month. They want their cut
every month.
Your future self also got to want your cut too, right? Right. So everybody else want their cut. My future self has to want my cut too. So it's like I got to pay myself first. But then, yes, I do got to have a budget. And yeah, you got to budget everything. And I know just for even for myself, being full transparency, I know I spend way too much money on food. So I spend way too much money on food, and and so it's like a lot of people spend things on what your set expenditures are every month. That's
Yeah.
that number you got to get to. Food, shelter, water, all the transportation, communication, right? That's your set expenditures. Now I know how much money I have left after my set expenditures. So if you got set expenditures for 3,000, you make 5,000. That means you got $2,000 left over after those set. What are you doing with that 2,000?
Okay. Okay.
Yep. And that's why we always tell people, go look at your bank statement over the last 2 months. That'll tell the story. Go highlight highlight everything you want to look at. It is right there in your face.
Over the last 2 months.
Last 2 months.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So let's say I have my statements from over the last 2 months, right? And I'm talking to you. Can you break down the steps? What is it that I actually would do? What do I need to do to invest?
Gotcha. So what do you need to do to invest? That just all depends on somebody's I guess how hands-on does somebody want to be with their investing. People can go open up accounts on their own. There's all type of companies that will let you just go ahead and open up an account online. You can just go choose some investments and you're self-managing it. You're doing it on your own. But then there's also the route that you could go is where you could get an advisor who specializes in that, and they can help you set up the account. They can help you pick out the investments. So it's just all a matter of, if you was to go buy a house, do you want to go buy the house on your own, or do you want to get a real estate agent? If you was going to go to court, do you want to go to court on your own, or you need a lawyer, or you want to go with a lawyer? I mean, it's really up to you and how much hands-on do you want to be, right? So there are advisors out there that can advise you, or you could take the time, learn and study it, and see if you could do better than an advisor. But then you also got to manage that on your time. Do you have time to also do that, right? So, for me, I had got connected with an advisor who taught me the game and was able to help me out. And obviously, I'm an advisor. Obviously, you're on your way is getting these licenses. You're there. So it's like you can get, certified, educated in this, get a specialist, or you could just decide how much you want to do it yourself.
Okay, so I kind of got the feeling that you're saying a little something maybe about online investing. Thoughts on that? Can you say?
I'll just say, hey, just as far as like how much, it's like I said, you can go to court and represent yourself, right? And you might win. But it's just how much work do you want to put into it? So we just have seen in our industry, I've been licensed for over 12 years with TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, and the amount of people that can give people advice. A lot of times they're not analyzing their situation. Nobody should be able to give you advice without them knowing your situation. So people who are online telling you to where to invest, or you even going in and picking it out, it may not be suitable for your situation. You got a lot of things to consider when you're investing. You got your risk tolerance. You got your taxes. You got a lot of things to really consider when it comes to that. So most successful investors are long-term investors, right? And they also do not get dissuaded when the market goes down. But you don't know how many clients I have talked off a ledge in my 12 years where they wanted to pull their money out because the market was down. And I know if they would have been on their own, they would have did it. They would have pulled it out. And that would have been a huge mistake, because every time it's been down, it has came back up. It has came back and went up, right? And they always thank me. And so it's just like, hey, but I've seen people be successful investing on their own too. Very small, but they spend a lot of time studying it. They spend as much time as we do studying it, right? So it's just, once again, it's just what's your level of acumen, what's your level of time, and then, decide how you want to go about opening that account.
Okay. So, I'm on TikTok, I'm on IG, I'm on Facebook, and there's a lot of people who are giving these this one size fit all advice on investing, right? So, and there's so much noise, right? There, everybody's a financial advisor or a financial educator. So, how do you know who to listen to?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's a great question. Well, number one is you got to ask yourself, does this person have my best interest? And then also, does this person legally have my best interest? Right? Because that's two different things, right? You don't know what somebody has in your best interest, because these people could genuinely just be, hey, I want to give people advice. I want to put them up on game, and not knowing that investment may not be suitable for them. I was seeing somebody talking today about investing in artwork. I'm like, you might want to get you a Roth IRA first before you start talking about hanging paintings on your wall that's appreciating, right? That's further down the line in your investment, game right there. So does this person have are they legally obligated to give me the best advice? You can go to websites to check that out, to see somebody's credentials, right? To see if they're legally obligated to give you best advice. So that's one. You can also have to do your homework, make them actually show you what they're talking about. We see people all the time talking about policies online. You can do this with this. You can do actually show me over time. Like, show me in documentation where you could do this at, or where does it say this at, or show me over history, show me how this works. And most of the time they're just talking. They're just talking. So it's like, you got to be able to sift through the noise, right? It's like, hey, we used to, back in the ancient days, have to go try to find the information.
Right.
Now you got to sift through all the BS information, right? It's a different mindset that you got to do. But yeah, you got a low information diet.
Mm-hmm. Low information diet.
Low information or specific information diet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. Specific information diet.
Mm-hmm.
So in closing this out, because I love to keep these conversations quick and full of valuable information, which this has definitely been this evening. I want to ask you this. I love to leave people as a coach. I love to leave people with assignments, homework assignments, something tangible that they could take with them. So if you were to give someone a homework assignment, let's say you were talking to me about investing and we were on this first leg of it, what would you give me as a homework assignment for investing before I even start the process? What would you tell me to do? Something tangible.
Something tangible, I would say you need to write out your short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals. And then I want you to then put a price tag on it, because all your goals and dreams have a price tag. Okay. So if you're maybe wanting a house, where do you want to live? How much does it cost? What type of loan are you going to get? Now we know what the down payment and closing costs are. We just worked our way backwards. Now we could say, okay, that's $15,000. When do we want this? 3 years. Now we know that's $5,000 a year. Now we know that's $400 some a month. You see how easy that was? Now we can actually, what does it take? Okay, on the 7th, the 14th, the 21st, 28th, we dropping $100 something in your account, because now there we go. So I would just say, what's your short term, your midterm, your long-term goals? My long-term goal is I don't want to have to work for money. I mean, that should be everybody's long-term goal. People are like, hey, I want to work. That's cool. But do you have to work for money? That's two different things. Yes. Okay. So when I'm a certain age, I don't want to have to work for money. Okay. That age is 55. The average lifespan is 85. Okay. That's 30 years worth of living that I have to do. I want to live off of $100,000 a year. Okay, 100,000 times 30 is 1.5, but then I got inflation in healthcare costs. So let me go ahead and add another million. That's 2.5 million.
Mm.
I'm 30, I'm 36. I got 20 years essentially to get 2.5. How do I do that? Oh, you got to invest $1,500 a month. So your homework assignment is what's your short term, your mid term, your long term. Go put a price tag on it and then call Chin so that she can show you what it takes to get to the dollar amount and tell you if your goal is realistic or, just a dream. There's a difference between a dream, a daydream, a real dream, right? So you gotta actually have something tangible so that you can make that a reality.
Yes. So can you break down exactly what short term is, what midterm is, and what long term is?
Yeah. For me, short term is 3 years or less. Midterm is 3 to 10. And long term is 10 or more. Yep. So short term, 3 or less, mid 3 to 10 years, long term, 10 years or more. You can actually see that when you look at investments, the prospectus, they give you 1, 3, 5, and 10 years on that prospectus when you look at what the investment has been returning over that time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Short term, midterm, and long term, y'all, and then put a price on that thing. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's what licensed financial advisor, Mr. David D. Berry, said for y'all to do. Thank you so much for sitting here and talking to me on this Money Moves Monday. I truly appreciate it. I hope all of you that are listening in live and for this replay have gotten so much value from this as I have. If you have any questions, please feel free to hit me up or David. If you're registered, you already have David's link, you have my link, and I will see y'all on the next Money Moves Monday.